Hey guys, so today's video is a bit different and I hope you don't mind. I don't think you will because you seem to be all so wonderful and supportive and understanding of my need to share my lupus journey, and you know, recently more so than ever I've really realised how much a lot of my health videos are helping other people, so that's important to me and that makes me want to keep going. But the Lupus UK charity are doing a campaign called #ThisIsLupus, which is for their Lupus Awareness Month. So there's Lupus Awareness Month every year, and for this year they're doing #ThisIsLupus, and they've asked people to submit videos so that they can put together one big video about real people's lives who are living with lupus. And I really wanted to make this video, and I thought instead of just making it and sending it to them, I should share it with you guys as well, because it's important and it can help you guys, and yeah, I just really think it's important. So for those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Jessica and I was diagnosed with lupus in July 2016, so it's been just over a year for me since I was diagnosed. It's hard to say how long it took me to get diagnosed because I have been having a lot of symptoms since I was a teenager, so like 10 years of the same kind of symptoms, but it was only really in the last 2 to 3 years that I would say that I became very unwell and just felt so ill all the time, and then had extra symptoms that were new. So I'd had these same symptoms like skin rashes, mouth ulcers, migraines, lots of these other things for many years since I was a teenager, since I hit puberty. But then all of a sudden I had joint pain and fatigue and so many other symptoms. So it's hard to say. It could be that it took me 10 years to get diagnosed because no one really ever knew why I had all these other problems or that they were related, or you could say that it took me a year or two because that's when I was really unwell and had new symptoms presenting, so it's complicated. I'd say that the symptoms I struggle with most on a daily basis changes a lot. In the beginning, I found the changes in my appearance very hard to deal with. I put on a lot of weight very suddenly, and then it's been impossible to lose. I have lost a lot of my hair. I know sitting here I've got a lot of hair, but I really have lost a lot of hair, and I've got a couple of little bald patches now, and that was really hard. But now, these days, it's the pain and the fatigue I find the hardest. The fatigue is just unbearable. It doesn't matter how much I sleep, how much I rest, I'm constantly exhausted. It's like I haven't slept a day in my life, and that is really tough to deal with, especially as a young person. And I don't want to belittle anyone's experience with lupus that's older, but everyone expects a 26-year-old to be full of energy in life and doing loads of things, and I was the most active person I knew before I was diagnosed and before I got unwell, and now I can barely walk some days, so that's really tough. My friends and family had a mixed bag of emotions when I was diagnosed, but mostly, I'd say overwhelmingly, they were just in shock. Yeah, no one really knew what to say. No one really had heard of it. No one really knew what it meant for me, and a lot of them like thought the worst straight away. You know, you hear the word disease and it freaks people out, which is completely understandable, but I literally had to say to people, stop looking at me like I'm gonna die, please, because that is how everyone went, just grey. Like, everyone that I told for the first time just went grey, and it was like they were seeing my life flash before their eyes, and I felt like I was telling them I was dying. It was horrible, but I think, yeah, shock was mainly the reaction. I've actually been victim of some abuse / discrimination / judgment because of having lupus, in that it's obviously mainly an invisible illness. When I was absolutely covered head to toe in the rash, that's different. Obviously people look at you and they're like, wow, she's covered in a rash, that's got to be awful. But apart from that, there's no real other obvious like visual symptoms. So I have a lot of problems, like when I went on holiday, before I was on any medication, I'd just been diagnosed, but no one had told me anything else about like how to deal with it, how to live with it. I hadn't had anyone see me for months. I got diagnosed in the July, I went on holiday in the September, and no one had told me how best to deal with it, what to do on holiday. I hadn't seen anyone to do with my lupus. And I went on holiday to Florida, where it's obviously very hot, and I had all the sun-induced symptoms, and it was horrific, and it's the most unwell I've ever been in my life was when I got back from that holiday and during that holiday. And I had to use a wheelchair, and I started using the disabled toilets as well, because often there was a huge queue in all of the like big theme parks, and I couldn't stand for that long. So I started using disabled toilets, and yeah, I got a lot of funny looks, a lot of tuts. I had one woman that said something under her breath to me, and then when she saw my boyfriend come around the corner with a wheelchair, she was very embarrassed. But I would just say, like, be kind, because not every illness is visible. I think the hardest thing about being diagnosed with lupus has been getting the people around me to understand it, to understand the illness, because it's very complicated, it's different for every person, it changes constantly, and so I feel like people around me have a real hard time truly understanding it. And when I'm having a flare-up and I literally can't do anything, I do get the feeling that people think I'm lazy, and I find that, like, it makes me want to cry. Because I've never been lazy, and I would never choose this for myself. But when I physically can't do something, then I can't do it. So I think that's the hardest thing, has actually been other people that don't understand it, and that even goes as far as doctors. You know, I've seen so many doctors now that haven't had a clue what lupus is, don't know what to do with me, don't know how to help. I've had one doctor try and say, after I was already diagnosed, try and say that she doesn't think I do have it and that it's all in my head, and that if I just walked it off or did Tai Chi, I would be cured of all my problems. And it's just frustrating, and it's hard, and it's disheartening. You know, I'm trying my absolute best every day to live a somewhat normal life, and it's made harder by people that just don't understand. I would say that my biggest achievement since being diagnosed with lupus is just carrying on and living my life. When you first get diagnosed and you hear those words and you get told all the information about it, and it all seems so terrifying and so doom and gloom, and it is like really hard, and it's really not a nice illness to have. But yeah, the fact that a year later, I'm doing things that I love, I'm trying my hardest every single day, I have a mostly positive outlook on life, and I'm realistic, but I'm not letting it limit what I want out of life in many ways. You know, I still want to have a lot of the same things and do a lot of the same things that I always did, and I might have to take a different route to be able to get there, but that's okay, because I've been handed this card and I'm dealing with it. And I think that's got to be my proudest achievement, is that I'm still living my life and I'm happy and I'm coping. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope it's helped you all understand some more about lupus, and I hope it helps the Lupus UK guys with their campaign, because they really do amazing work, and Lupus UK have really helped me from the very beginning of me finding out I might have it before I was even diagnosed. The information they provide, their Facebook page is so useful, and you can get in touch with other people that are going through the same things. They're a godsend. They've been amazing. So yeah, I hope it helps them out as well. But yeah, anything to help raise awareness really. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I will see you again soon. Bye!